This is paragraph 2 of our OV. Here we have our topic sentence. Furthermore, young people experience higher levels of stress in modern Singapore. This is our point. Now, of course, this is a very common topic which I'm sure you would have written about in your own essays. Teachers don't really like this topic anymore because it's so common, but I'm going to try and show you how to make it slightly more interesting. What will distinguish you from your peers is the degree of your elaboration. And here's our elaboration. First, you'll talk about education, specifically about tuition, extra classes after school. We'll talk about how many parents are obsessed with grades and consequently they send their children to a series, almost a never-ending series of tuition. That is, of course, very, very stressful to young children, as young as 5, 6, 7 years old, all the way till well, maybe 18 years old for those who are studying JC or 19 years old. Tutors, of course, will give their own assignments in addition to the work which students receive from school. So that's in fact quite a heavy burden for young children. Next, we discuss about the rigid and structured education system that we have in Singapore, which is far too competitive. There is a very strong focus on STEM subjects here: science, technology, education, mathematics. We ignore artistic subjects such as dance or painting or sculpture, things like that, and only focus on what we think is very useful for our country, what is very useful for our young people to find jobs in the future. That means those who are not as inclined, not as academically inclined, will find it very difficult to do well in school. Yet there is, of course, a very real parental expectation which they have to try to live up to, and that is just additional stress. Now, remember, the question is young people today are so fortunate. We will have to compare with young people from the previous generations. Previously, I would expect young people to have a life that is more carefree. They may have more responsibilities in terms of making a living, or they could go to work at a very young age. But they had very little stress, I believe, from education. Compared with them, young people nowadays do experience more stress. Next, we'll move on to our examples. The first example we'll use is about the tuition industry here in Singapore, and it's worth about $1.1 billion. That is a lot of money. That is a lot of students going for a lot of tuition classes, including mine. Now, a more disturbing fact is that there are thousands of patients who are aged between 6 and 19 at the Children's Clinic at the Institute of Mental Health. They are there usually because of stress-related issues, sometimes because of problems with learning as well, and many other reasons. Stress is one of the more common ones, which the reason why they're referred there. The last part of our paragraph again is going to be our link. Here we have hands, and we repeat our topic sentence again. Young people are experiencing higher levels of stress.